So my name is Josh, this is the Power Recovery YouTube channel, and on today's video we're going to be talking about how to unveil your true life's purpose and your true life's calling. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the video. Goes without saying, this is a very overwhelming topic, and particularly if you've done this, you've had a job for many years and you're in transition, or maybe you're very young and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. What is going to be the thing that naturally inspires you to want to do it for the rest of your life? And I think the main thing for me with life purpose in general is the study of axiology, which is the study of values and purpose. And that every human being has a kind of unique sequence and hierarchy of values that they live their life by, consciously or unconsciously, on a moment-to-moment basis. And for every person, it's kind of a fingerprint-specific thing, that it's always going to be different for every person. And what I think is it goes in kind of two different ways. That some people may discover their life purpose very early on in their life. They have an epiphany and a moment of revelation, and then they maintain their value system and that hierarchy of values for a very long period of time, and they might do that thing that they once discovered when they were younger for the rest of their life. Now, is that most people? Probably not. But I think with some other people, it probably will be this thing of that. I know, I think it's David Diet actually talks about this, where your purpose almost is like these concentric spheres, and with each sphere going into a more contraction into that kind of core of who you are, your core personality, your core values, and the outer layers are more superficial, right? So it might be this kind of trial and error thing that you go after certain purposes and it doesn't quite work, or you don't feel it's the nice fit for you, etc. But everyone has these values that they unconsciously live by every single day. So it might be for some people that health is a high value. The second value is fitness. The second value is nutrition, whatever it is. And they live in accordance to them values on a daily basis. That typically the higher you get on your values, the more naturally you are inspired to do it. And then the lower you get on your values, the inverse is true, that you become naturally uninspired to do it. So I think it's really important, really understanding who you are first before you start kind of saying, this is my purpose, this is my purpose. I definitely recommend checking out a link that I'll leave in the description box under the video to Dr. Demartini's website, where he gives you an actual, it's effectively like a survey of your values, and he'll give you it in a nice kind of question-based question and answer format on his website, and it reveals to you probably a bit more information about yourself that might be able to determine then what you truly value. And then usually what you value the most would be linked effectively to your purpose, what they call the telos, the end in mind. So I definitely recommend doing that as a starting point, because it can be very confusing if you're not used to kind of doing any kind of conscious reflection work, going deep within yourself, asking yourself questions, what do I truly value? But you'll know if it is linked to your purpose well, if it gives you energy, if it's the thing that you're naturally most disciplined in, you're the most organized in, you do it without any kind of external motivation, you just do it very intrinsically within your life. And it does give you that sense of fulfillment, which, with your life purpose, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that is linked to financial gain. It could be just something that you are very, very passionate about, that you are naturally inspired to do. It doesn't have to be associated with your income. So just to establish that as well. The next thing is, if you are on this at this point of your life, say, just for example, you don't know what you want to do and you're unsure if what you're doing at the moment is really truly meaningful to you. What I would recommend doing is another kind of thought experiment. Is I would actually just immerse yourself in as much new experience as you humanly can. Being as social as possible, reading as much as possible, watching as many seminars as you can, all under the influence of taking care of yourself. Obviously, I'm not saying to burn yourself out, but to try and expose yourself to like new stimulus and be around new people that have different value systems themselves, and it might inspire you, and something might hit you in a way that it captures your imagination, it captures your curiosity, that you want to try and pursue that. So there's a little bit of trial and error sometimes. And I think what that will then give you is new exposure to new experiences, will then allow you to kind of shatter any kind of previous belief systems and whatever else. And it will allow you then to see what you might be interested in, what you could maybe pursue as your purpose. The other thing I would suggest, and this is a big one, I think that the quality of our thinking is determined by our quality, the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves, right? So you can ask yourself, linking to what I've just discussed, what are you naturally inspired to do without anyone motivating you to do it? What would you do if you couldn't fail? What would you do if it was your last day on Earth and you had one day to live the life you really wanted just for that one day? What would you do? And these, it sounds like very cliche questions, but, it will get you to start tapping into that sole purpose. And it'll start you to then actually look at things in a different way. And it's kind of like, I think once you know what your purpose is, and I would probably say what my purpose is to maximize my own potential and inspire others to do the same. That's as close I can get to it. And it doesn't necessarily mean you might just find like you really value sport or you really value football or something like that, and your purpose is just to be the best athlete humanly possible. That is just an example. It doesn't always have to be associated with a mission statement, but I know that's a very popular thing in kind of the personal development industry, is that people usually tend to put a kind of mission statement on their purpose, but you don't have to do that. If you just want to be the best parent possible, then that's your purpose in life, whatever else. So these are just suggestions. Again, it's not supposed to be a definitive thing. I definitely recommend doing the value determination process on Dr. Demartini's website. And then the last thing, what I would say is that there are so many benefits from you discovering, who you are, what you want to do with your life, and how do you want to spend your time and develop yourself. And I think the studies are quite apparent from you following a more life in purpose way of living, is that you live longer, you're less stressed, you have obviously better mental health because of that, better physical health, but it creates a lot of meaning in your life, and it gives you something. It acts almost like a buffer, I think, that even on a bad day, if you have something that you've really thought about that gives you a lot of fulfillment that you can always go back to, you could have the worst day in the world, but you can always go back to that purpose, and it can kind of regenerate you and make you feel more alive again. And it keeps you it's a very equalizing thing, leaning back on your purpose. And particularly as well, not that it always has to, I think, your purpose involve other people, but I do find that will help increase things like oxytocin, serotonin, helping others, living in service to other people while taking care of yourself. It can be very fulfilling, but it doesn't always have to be that. It might be that you just want to, I don't know, but it might not always involve service to other people, but I'm sure in some respect it may do. Serving something greater than yourself can give you a tremendous amount of fulfillment, and it kind of pays it forward then. So hope you've enjoyed them suggestions. Any questions, comment below. Make sure to like and share the video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.